Hello and welcome back. Let's get the decorating done. First thing we're going to start with is the seam binding. Now on your cutting guide, let's go through just a few things because even though I've put down some of your measurements, such as the My Colors cardstocks, found a couple of errors. They're not major, no worries. So right here, inside left cover, your pattern paper, it states a 4 1/4 by 8 1/8. So that's the whole length of our folio. If you want to save paper, which, because we already put our folio down, our waterfall down, that's where it's going to be changed because I went through, excuse me, the creation already of this with you. We put it down. Therefore, I will not have pattern paper the whole length. I will only have it from here to there. So it should say or. So if you want to put the word or to save paper. So the one thing you do have to catch yourself and not put this down until you put the pattern paper. But I really don't see the need to have it back there. You don't see it. So that is where it comes in. Measurement is 6 1/8. Now that's if you're going to cover this whole thing, covering that 1/2 inch and that's what I'm going to do. So even though I did cut the full length, which is the extra 2 inches, you don't need it under there unless you really want it under there, of course. So that should be and cut or. So you can cut either full length, but before you glue down the waterfall, you'll see on the sample it's back there, but you really don't see it. So I'm going to cut mine 6 1/8. Then we want to come down here to the inside right side large flap. Your My Colors, let me come over here. Your My Colors is lovable, and it's behind our darling little lady going to the mailbox. And it is the lovable, it's the pink. You need actually one red and one pink. Okay, it should only be one because it's inside under your flap. So just cross out the 2 and make it a 1. Make that 1 pink and 1 red. Here's our red, and then the pink is behind her. So that it was just kind of clerical errors, and I do apologize. Now, for our closure, it's the seam binding. I'm going to have you cut two 12-inch pieces of the black and red, and one's for the front, one's for the back. Now you're going to see though, I have pink and black. I grabbed pink and black, not thinking, and I've already got it and cut, so I'm going to use it. Now, one thing I like to do, and I take these little bottles all the time, like eyeglass cleaners, and I just fill them with water. And I just put a little bit in my hand. I don't like to really get it soaking wet unless sometimes I'll do it at night and let it dry overnight. But if you do, of course, then you've got to let it dry. So we're just going to use a little bit of water. It helps to get going, and it's better than spitting in your hand, right? I know that sounds pretty gross, but right there, that is enough to get it crinkled, and I do want the crinkly kind of look. Okay, and we're going to do it again. I need a little bit more water in my hands. Or you can take these back and we can always get them filled at our eye doctor for our eyeglasses. So I usually get a couple of them and then I use them for water bottles here in my craft room. And why not? They give them to us free. First I use up all the eyeglass cleaner, or I put it in my husband's bottle. And then I'll go ahead and clean them out and fill them with water. Okay. So it also will get more crinkled as you're using it, but we do want to put that down first. And I should have done this first. Silenced any notifications, so we're not. Okay. You have those, we still have those pieces left from our seam binding. And we're going to grab the folio, and it is 8 1/2 inches long. So you can also mark, you can eyeball. And we're going to go, so it's 8 1/4, so like 4 1/8. And remember, we are going to have a little bit of a border there, so come in about 1/8 of an inch with that score tape. Don't need a lot. Again, just kind of making sure. And I just don't want any of the pencil to show. We'll trim that because we don't want it bunched up under our paper. Like I said, your seam binding is red and black, and I didn't look. I just kind of grabbed. I'm just laying it sort of on each other, on top of each other. I'm kind of staggering it. And again, just kind of stagger. Oh, wow, I didn't get the whole backing off. That's not even sticky. And I'm kind of doing the opposites. "12 inches is pretty long. So I'll go ahead and make a knot. And I'm going to do them all kind of different lengths. That helps to keep it from fraying. Now, another thing you can do is also put cut aparts. You glue them on the end of your seam bindings. I've done that with hearts. Makes for really cute ends. You just take them and glue them on. Makes a cute decorative effect. So there we have our seam binding, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it open. And then making sure my album's the way I want it. And we will start with our front cover. Let me get my papers here. And everything is double matted. Makes it look really super nice. And again, the measurements, you do have them on your cutting guide. Okay, and it will start right at the bottom on the first page of your cutting guide. My colors is Delphinium dots, and there's 2 4 3/8 by 8 1/4, and your spine is 1 1/2 by 8 1/4. Then you have your pattern paper that goes on the inside, and again, measure and see how you like. I'll tell you what happened with mine. So that, yeah, 4 3/8. So I ended up cutting my front cover at 4. I did the 4 1/4, but I cut mine at 8. I wanted more of the blue showing than before, so I did cut mine at 8 inches. 8 1/8 is still fine, but if you want more blue to show, I did the same thing with the back cover here to bring out more of this blue. And it is the back side of the balloons, so you may decide you want the balloons on the back because they're pretty cute too. Then your cover spine piece is your 1.5 by 8 1/4. And so it's 1 3/8 by 8 1/8. But again, I cut mine 1 3/8 and I cut it 8 so that there was more blue on the end showing. And we're going to first glue these onto the double matting. I did not ink the edges. I was doing some inking and I thought, you know, I don't know. I just liked it on, I liked it without the inking. So we're going to add our glitter glue. I do like to mat first when I'm double matting, and then we will put it onto the cover. We'll move a few tools so that I'm not fighting with them. If you're using glue, do make sure you're using spatula, something that you can really spread that glue around so that it lays flat. So cute. So this would be really cute for our guys if you're making homemade Valentines for school this year. Now we're talking about Valentines. Isn't that just kind of cool? I think it's kind of cool that here we are already past Christmas. Whoops. I have to move everything. It just keeps falling over. And for the back piece. You know, my glue is just kind of cold. And I think when I'm downstairs, I need to, well, because it does get a little chilly, I should start bringing it upstairs. I mean, it's not freezing cold down here, but it does get a little chilly. Okay. So I'll start here. Whoops. With the back piece. Don't worry, we'll we need to kind of, you know, shape our gussets there. And those aren't hard to reshape. So don't worry about pressing down. My spine piece. When the Valentine paper was created, it was actually created before our New Year's Eve. It was actually created even before one of our Christmas papers. So what happened is we now have a die. So with with these retro collections, you'll notice that with the die, such as, I mean, the New Year's Eve, that we now have a die that will cut them out so that you actually get a package of them instead of, and you get one just fussy cut. I enjoy fussy cutting. I know not everybody does. I mean, I don't always. I have to make sure I make time for it when I know that I'm going to need certain things for a project. But from here on out, with the retro collections, you will get your die cuts. So, for instance, New Year's Eve, and then all the new lines for next year. Let's really work that for just a minute on the edge. You will no longer have to cut them all out unless you want to. Okay, I'm going to close that for a minute. Now for the cover inside of your kit, you do have the little blue dots. Then you have that. You have some glitter. And you have the hot air balloon. And there's the acrylic that's in there, the word love. So all of that is in there. So we can put it together, but I really don't want to like put it flat on the book yet. And you also we'll need the glitter. I've got a big package, of course. And you need the foam tape. How is it I have everything all organized until I sit down and then I end up losing it all. So let's go ahead and take out a couple of things. And on the love, you will need to glue that down to the white backing. And I didn't want to lose my acrylic. I did. Okay, I think it's here. It is. It's like you have to use your hands. Okay, I'm going to put my acrylic back into the bag for just a moment that I don't lose it. And I'm going to go grab really quick, it's just here on the other table, another pack of the foam tape. Okay, I don't feel so bad now. I did not, I repeat, I did not bring it back over. So let's go ahead and let's glue down love. And we'll get everything ready here for the cover. And you can pop this up if you like. Right now, I'm going to put this. I know these are my, I know these are my Pampered Chefs, but I'll tell you what, I've got 2 sets, and I grabbed them, and I just love them. So I'm going to start using them more. Along here is where our foam tape is going to go. Let me go ahead and show you. So we're going to start by just taking a strip off. And I am going to start right here. I'm going to take the backing off. I think it's easier to work with. And because I add glue when I glue this down. I don't worry about losing too much stickiness, but you'll find it does wrap around your balloon a lot easier. So right now, I'm just going to go around the heart. We are going to do the bottom pieces. I just goofed. I'm sorry. Good thing we have extras in here. Go ahead and take that off. I forgot the acrylic does have to go down first. That's important. Now your acrylic, you're going to notice there is one side that fits better than the other side. So turn it one way, then turn it the other, and you'll see it's off just a hair. So it does need to go this way. And your art glitter glue will hold this down. It just needs some extra drying time. And I don't do it heavily. I'm just going to kind of dot all the way around. My sweater because it's soft. And let's just add that. And that is the trick when using your art glitter glue. You want to just keep it kind of light. I've seen another clothespin, and I guess I dropped it. Okay, let's let that dry. All right, let's set that aside and let's let it dry. Well, we'll set it down. I mean, we're going to do our foam tape here on the bottom. Again, I'm just going to remove the backing. I'm trying to keep it to the edge. I'm just going to add this one right there on this. There we go. This looks like it's been drying pretty good. Now we can just shape around there. Oops. Now make sure you do butt that up there pretty good. And I brought it down. Yeah, I don't want it to be seen, so I'll go ahead and trim a little bit more off. And the sequins we're using, they are bigger. There are some little clear things in there, but there's no trouble with them coming through those spaces because they're not big enough to fit. And still don't like that shows. So I'm going to push it over. There we go. And I have that little space I need to fill in first. push that in so we keep it all in one piece. I'm just checking everything's tucked in where it needs to be. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use this. On the love, if you want. And up the L. And I'll use blue with that. I think I'll put, it is sticky stuff. So that's for sure. I think I'll just take this whole piece off. Nice and sticky. All right. And we'll put him aside. And my hot air balloon. Just gonna lay it right. I'm gonna try and get some of my love. Now you may have a different placement of your letters than I have, and that's okay. It just depends on where you cut your paper. So let's open our bag of little sequins. And did you know it doesn't take much? I'm just going to lay them in there. Just going to help because we've had our fingers on it. Too big of a pile there. There we go. Now they're moving. Now you have just a little tiny bit, because that's all it takes, of our glass glitter. And that's what I put on the basket here. And using your art glitter glue. You can smear it however you want and how much you want to have on there. And then you just open your little bag. Just smear that around. And the nice thing, your art glitter glue does dry clear. And I'm telling you, that German glass glitter it's so sparkly. I just love it. So it takes a tiny amount. On yours too, you'll see it. Oh, it's so pretty. And then your love. So the love goes, if you want, right here in the bottom. I should have put it also would look very cute. Let me show you a couple of different, I forgot to show you. You could put it across the top here. So you don't have to use it where I'm using it, you definitely can use it where you want to use it, which is very cute there. I'm going to go ahead and put mine here at the bottom. And I already fussy cut one of the airplanes from the collection. And I'm going to actually pop him up here. On the other one, it covers my hot air balloon a little bit more. So I'm just going to use another strip. I quite like these little strips. I always use glue, even on my stickers, even on my anything. Match that up. And I did, so let me show you. I'm not going to cut this. I'm going to use it, but see this love right here? I did cut that out already. Oh, no, wait. I did not cut it out. No, I'm cutting it out with you. That's right. So the love here, and it is backed on a scrap piece of your pink. A smaller one over here. And there we go. I was just checking to make sure it wasn't one that was going to be used. So I'm going to cut around the clouds. Round that off a little bit since it's right at the top of the paper. Just change that into the cloud we want it to be. The glitter. And now just go around it again. Remember, fussy cutting isn't perfect. So once you get past that, you'll enjoy it. Now on this, I do want to put, you can put anywhere. I think since I put my balloon up just a little bit high this time, I'm going to bring this down and have it on the balloon itself a little bit. So I'll use another strip from here. Oh, I shouldn't have. Here, I need to bring this in a little bit because this is already popped up. You really don't have to have it all the way. So let's see here. There we go. I should have checked that fit first. And then I have 3 crystal droplets that are going to go up here at the top. And the art glitter glue will dry clear underneath. And looks like it's up there in the clouds. And we have a couple flowers that we're going to make for the bottom, but we are going to come back to that because we want to let everything dry. And then here on the back, from your cut aparts, we have the Love Letter Express cut apart, or little tag. And you have plenty of leftovers, so these are going to make the cutest Valentines this year. And we will do a few punching of flowers and add some floral here, and makes for, isn't that just adorable? And everything, yep, that's dry. The only thing is those are maybe a little wet. Now, again, on the inside of your cutting, on the bottom of your cutting guide are the measurements for your matting. So we're going to start with this 3x4 cut apart, and then behind it, and the wording might be a little different, I believe. And I did have to use a couple of different, I'll show you when we get to that point, of the mattings, but this has been matted, double matted behind it with the blue kind of like cloudy spots, or the lights, because the balloons are flying up in the clouds. So these are 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and these are 3x4 cut aparts. And then on the inside, we have the Sending All My Love. So we'll double mat those 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and these are 3x4s. And these are 3 1/8 by 3/8. I did cut just a little bit wider than 3/8, so you can decide if you want to do that too. We need one for the inside and one for the outside. So let's go ahead and do the left side, and I'm going to go ahead and do this right side. Well, no, I'm going to wait because you need to cut these to get some of the pieces. So let's just stick with the left side. And I'll just do the cut aparts onto our double matting, our 3 1/8 by 4 1/8 blue pieces. And then double check the fit and see if you need to trim your cut apart, or if you want it to be a little different size or anything. Now the thing's going to be, we need to watch for directional placement, because the flap, when it comes down, it will be directional. So for me, it's going to come up. Remember, I did mine wrong. So you want to make sure you want to place that so it's directionally in the right direction. So I'm going to, wait, there, that magnet really grabbed a hold. Burnish it from that side, and then again making sure the directional is going the right direction. work over that magnet. And then my little pieces that will go to cover up that gusset part. 3 1/8. Like I said, I did go just about a 16th wider, and then it is 3 1/8 inches wide. I think it's just a real fun, kind of relaxing project. Isn't that cute? Okay, so, oh, I thought it was stuck. You gotta be careful. I still have score tape there. So on your left side, you do have double matting on your first waterfall. And we have Love is in the Air. And our waterfall pieces, our cut aparts are 4 by 6. So the first one that I cut, this red piece, it is the My Colors Cherry, and it is 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. And so we're going to do that. Now this is, I'll show you, this is the only double matting that we have on this waterfall, except we do have, I did use a cut apart that is the background. You'll see I kind of they've been angled, and you don't have to, when we get to the back side, you'll see what I mean. Now again, if you're joining and you didn't watch the first part, I put my waterfall wrong. So actually mine's opening down instead of up. So I will refer back to this one to show you. So when you flip it up, you'll see what I mean. You'll need to make sure she's directional, and you'll see in the photos some polka dots. Oh, one thing I did not cut, and we'll go through, is again 3/8 of an inch for your matting here, and I just used the scraps from the blue, actually just like this, and it fits, so just make sure it's the proper fit, but they're 3/8 of an inch, and you'll just cut those to go on there. Now this is going to be a little different. Like I explained, I'm not matting the whole back of our page. And now for this back side, for the back side, again, you'll want to make sure you're directional. This cut apart had the darling polka dots. So it's actually sitting, let me show you, kind of at an angle this way on the page. And then she sits this way. So I brought that corner as far as it would go, and then I brought that as far as it would go, and made it so it looked like it was a little bit of a double matting. Again, you don't have to, you can just put the straight 4 by 6, and it is a little bit shorter, but that's okay if you don't want to use your second cut apart. So it's going to be sitting with this corner up to that corner, but keeping it on your page so that nothing is hanging over the edge. And that's exactly what you don't want it to do, is going off your page. But it's sitting kind of cattywampus. And then this one will come on and also sit cattywampus. You'll just see some polka dots. Okay, let's go ahead and go with our airmail. And these pieces, because they're just your straight pieces, they're 6 by 4 1/8, so 4 1/8 wide, and they are 6 inches long. So what I did is I cut this 12 by 12 sheet at 6, and then I cut 2 4 1/8 inch pieces. You're going to see one spot where I'm going to have a different paper, I believe, on this. No, it's over on the other side, sorry, because I kind of messed up on one of my cuttings, but those are those happy accidents that are easy to fix, right? Right. So now the back side, again, check your directional on yours. And then we'll have our party tickets. So then I used the back side of the white. Same size, 4 1/8 by 6. And don't forget your 4 1/8 by 3/8 inch pieces. Then my next one are the party tickets. Love it. So I want to make another one of these with what's cooking. I think that'd be really cute. Just like a housewarming, a quick gift to put the recipe cards on. A little project like this. Okay, now our next one, the same thing. I took and cut this at 6 inches and then 2 4 1/8 of an inch pieces. So I will put the back side here and then the front side of our paper airplanes down here. Now I'll stop on this one because at the top we have a cut apart from the little tag sheet. So we have the love is in the air, and again, you can just put white photo mats, or you can just pop them there. That was just to show you how they fit. You want to leave it open at the top. So I've already fussy cut out love is in the air. And we'll just put our adhesive across the top, so you'll have plenty of room to tuck underneath there. Let's just make sure I don't get glue where I don't want it. I will pop this down. Oh, I think that I did make that boo-boo here. So I sure did. This is the one where I messed up. So if you're following along with the instructions, you have the red, and I don't. Because what happened is I got happy cutting, as I call it, and I cut too many, so I did have this one left. So I am putting this on mine instead of that, and I know. So I think I'm going to go this way and this way, and I'll put this on the back side, just so you kind of have an idea. Mine that I'm doing here looks different. So I'll put my mailbox here and there. And this will go better with the piece that's going down. And I have this funny feeling, I hope I didn't accidentally cut that too. I wasn't paying attention to the sample, and I just started cutting. But that's okay. You have plenty of paper, even with the other projects. And oh, Tiffany made the cutest card folio type thing that you can send to your loved one. Okay. So again, I'm going to have a piece instead of the full length that will just cover that gusset. And actually, this is it. I had cut the full piece first. So I will cut this down now to 6 1/8. Because you need 2. So this is going to be the bottom there, and then my polka dots here. On the sample, again, that was the red that I showed you, but these two go really well together. Sticking. There we go. And again, it's directional. So, well, it kind of is, but I want it to be the letters sticking up, and it will depend on how you cut, the paper as to which ones are this way or sideways. Lots of cute spots for photos. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and get these cut. Oh, I don't know if it's long enough, to be honest with you. No, these are only 4 inches. So I will wait because I need to go back. Mine might be this pink across here instead of the blue, which actually, yeah, let's go ahead and cut it. I'm pretty sure, I'm very confident I'll be okay cutting it. In the original sample, I used the blue. So we want to do they're 4 1/8 inches wide. And because I covered my back, I won't need one, but I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Only need 4. If you left it, then you'll need 1 to cover that. So you'll need 5, but I only need 4. Oh, that didn't seem like 3/8. Sometimes hold on. I think I just cut it off the wrong way. Yes, I did. So let's go red. Let's try this one more time. Now, I'm going to go, I just go up to that 16th mark and make them a little bit wider than 3/8. And if your cutter's in 16ths, then you'll go to 4/8 instead of 3/8. I don't like to throw anybody off, and oh, I need that. That is why I write the most common measurements down, and then it's a, you can go back and adjust your size. So again, instead of blue, I like the blue, but we're going red. I like the red too. Like, you want to just use your scraps for these little fill-in pieces of matting. And we are done. Now let's go ahead and burnish those back down. And we're okay there. Okay, we are done with that side. Isn't that awesome? Now for this inside piece, it's the 1.5, and it is not, it's not double, oh no, it is double matted. And I did pre-cut those. Let me see where I set them. I kind of set things here and there, everywhere, and then, you know what happened? I went back and accidentally cut them. Have you done that? And then you're like, I wasn't supposed to cut that. It was supposed to be my double matting. So I have the 1.5 here, but it looks like I did. So I am going to do this here. Just, I'm going to do this last, or maybe, okay, maybe I am okay. Oh, I lucked out because I really did want the blue in there anyway. But on the original one, let me show you. On the original one, there's the blue. But this is just all the different envelopes fussy cut out. So you can do that. But when the sample was being made, it was with the 8x8 there. And we had pulled the 8x8 out because it was, yeah, we went with the 12x12. So let's go ahead and cut these to fit. So this is where, let's look back here for your outside cover for your spine, which is 1.5 by 8.25. These are going to be the same size for your inside. So you want to cut, or you can cut out and do the fussy cutting and cut out, you know, some little envelopes or some more of your cut parts to fit into this centerpiece of your folio. So I'm going to use the blue still. And then I'm going to cut this piece down to 8. And instead of 1 3/8, because I do want a little bit more of it to show the blue, I'm just going to cut this at 1 1/4. Yes, so that's a little different than your cutting guide, and you can just go ahead and make your notes right next to that. or you can definitely cut out all these little envelopes. Now see, that is giving me quite a bit more of the blue to show, and I really like that. I don't know about you, I'm really loving these bright colors. Right down the center. Oh goodness, this isn't wanting to move. I'm so used to artisan cardstock, so I have a, there we go. I have more time to move my paper. This is cotton. You just don't have that time. Okay, we have the same thing now for our little closure. And I have the Darling Love Letter Express here for the outside. Again, 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and our 3 by 4 will go right on top. And I did not use a cut apart for the back side. You will have a piece of 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, almost perfect left from when we cut our other matting. And it's going to be the girl at the mailbox right here. And so this is the top piece of that is the top piece of this paper from your 12 by 12. And that is what is going to go on the back, and it's not a double mat. And then I used plaid on the plaid was used on the original, but for this time I'm just going to use the pink from the airplanes because that's what I had, and I just didn't want to cut into any more plaid for the 2 small pieces. So you can also choose a solid color if you like from your little pieces and parts left over. I'm going to go ahead and put down, and that is cute too. I'm going to go ahead and use the other side. You may want to put a photo there. And if you have the little 2 by 3 printer, it's really cute just to cut that photo. I mean, print it and then cut it to fit there. But you do have a magnet, so you want to take into consideration any thickness that might interfere with that closing. So you could also just put a little note or something cute here. And again, these are 3 1/8 wide. And I did go almost to the 4 1/8 mark instead of 3 1/8, which is just tiny, tiny bit over. I'm just going to lay that one down because I want to make sure it wasn't too thick. Your cutting guide. Okay, the cutting guide was created so that, let me show you. If you just wanted to cover all 6 pages, so it's front and back, you need 12. So it does say to cut the My Color cardstock pattern paper, 12 of them, 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. But you'll see we have some different matting going on here. Of course, the cover will be plain. The back is one of my colors, but here's what I'm talking about. So I did cut those so that I can give you the dimensions as we go, or you could go solid. Choice is yours. Again, here to break it up a little bit, and then this back side. Now the back side measurements, and I'm doing something a little different than the original because I messed up when I was cutting, and that's the truth. So, but it's going to turn out really cute, and I'll show you in just a moment. So you want to start by cutting your matting and the 12 by 12. So we have the first one I have, which is the pink, and this is your cover. That's where I showed you one is going to be red, one's going to be pink. 4 1/8 by 8 1/8. So my matting on top is 4. I cut this 4 by 8. I did cut mine down a little bit more. Again, I wanted a little bit more pink to show, and that's going to sit right on top. Okay. I always keep my fingers back there, at least one finger. Well, that's not going well because I don't want it crooked. And it's sucking up the glue. Okay. Why am I having so much trouble here? And this is why I don't like to double mat on the page. There we go. In case I mess it up. Oh my gosh, I've been having a little trouble here. There we go. Oh, and I do put a piece up here, and I need to cut that. Again, on the original, I used a plaid. I think we'll just go ahead and go with the polka dots because I need it to match. We need it to match the pink matting. So I do want something that's long enough. Let's see from my scraps. I want to go with the 4 1/8. Oh, I cut one of the letters out. Love letters. Again, a little over 3/8. Oh, I forgot. I guess I did forget those 2 pieces because there's one on the inside also. So I'm going to go with the polka dots instead of the plaid. And I can't measure for beans tonight. It's 4 1/4 is what we need, not 4 1/8. So that's why we check our guides, our cutting guides. And don't 4 1/4. And I need 2 of them. One for the inside and one for the outside. We don't always listen to an instructor. for new blades. I'm going to put that other piece on the inside since we have it cut and it won't get lost in the scraps on the desk. Okay, red. Oh, did we finish? Yeah. So now we just have a solid red piece that's going to go here on the inside. And it is 4 1/4 by 8 or 7, no, 4 1/4 by 7 7/8. Nope, that should not be 4 1/4. This must go somewhere else. Hold on. Yes, it does. Goes to my back page. This is the correct one that goes here. I do need to cut it because it is, that's that second piece on your cutting guide because it's the same as the front, 8 1/8. Take an 1/8 off of mine. It was 8 1/4 and I made 8 1/8. And measurement's 4 1/4. Now the original one shows red, but that is where one of my boo-boos was. I cut my red too short. So I'm trading the red for the pink. And this is the side I had a couple of variations because I cut my paper wrong. But it's okay. There's the red and there's the pink. And then again, just a little photo mat spot. So that's a great page for your pictures. So we have that now done. We're going to start with this cover and the 2 pieces that I used. Right back up here. Let me get my pages. I'm going to put 3 to the left and 3 to the right so that I don't mess up. Is your 3x4 cut apart, so it will lay down nicely. Then I cut a piece that goes on the bottom, and I'll give you these measurements. The bottom is 2 3/4 by 4. So we have a little bit more of the white border. Once I put those down, then you can measure in between how much you want. This came out to be 1 7/8. Let's put this down by 4 because you want everything to be the same width. And because, of course, my cut apart's 3x4, we can't get it to that 4 1/8. So I just went ahead and went with a little bit more of a white border. And I thought it looked just fine. So we're going to add our cut apart to the top. And you want to leave a border at the top also on your sides. Again, the bottom piece is 2 3/4. Now these measurements aren't on the cutting guide. They are, that's upside down. It was just put the full size pages if you want to cut. And then again, you'll just go by these measurements if you want to create it like this original one. And when the tags are on the back like that, I don't worry about it. They won't come off. You can peel them off. And they do kind of leave a shadow, but it's the back side. So, and when they're on there, I just leave them. Add my glue and off we go. And let's just make sure When you take the time to make sure your glue is spread out, you'll be so much happier. Okay, so the back side is where let me grab my pieces. Now we're just going with all the solid cuts. And how did I get these mixed up? Again. Right here. No, front. This is the next one. And again, this one now is 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. So my full size pieces are the 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. My other ones are going to be 4 inches wide. And the reason being is some of them were scraps left over, and I thought that'd be so cute. And that's what we end up using. Okay, this next one is a red piece instead of pink. So in the original, it's pink, but that is where I mixed up my colors and cut them wrong. So this one came out to be the 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. And so I kind of messed up. That's why I traded places with these two, because this fit better down here. And it's okay, because the red goes also. Now, I do have a little tuck spot that's been created with your tags. And we're going to use the girl out to the mailbox. And I'm just going to go along this backside edge and over and up just a hair. And then you can tack a little photo mat or a photo, of course. So just start just a little bit up the side. And then it ties in so nicely down here. And then you can cut the photo mat. Okay, so the back side, toss that now. So our back side has pink. I know what I did. I put the one side there and the other side over here. That's what I ended up doing. And that's why I think I ended up cutting into some of my papers. Tell you, I'm dangerous around paper. Only thing I can think of that I did. There we go. The bottom and the top. Then we'll have a cut apart down at the bottom. So the plaid piece, 4 inches by 4 inches. So this one is 4 inches, but it is only 3 3/4. So it's 4 inches this way and 3 3/4 long. And again, because I went with the 4 inches, they were the pieces and parts left over, and they were already at 4. There was no sense in wasting them. And we'll put the 3 3/4 wide by 4 long, 3 3/4 long by 4 wide, because we want it to be the same width at the bottom. And for our little cut apart, we'll add the word love. Again, 3 sides and just this corner here. So it won't fall out when we put a photo there, if we want it to be loose. And for our opposite page is the airplanes. Again, 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. And the back of page 3 for that one is the mail carrier. Now, because this was going the wrong direction, because the way I cut my papers earlier, the back side is perfect. Really cute spot for those photos. Don't forget, our albums aren't just for photos. They're for notes. They're for maybe you get a cute little Valentine that you want to keep. So you're going to just post it in your book like you would if it was a photo. Or maybe there's a saying that you just love. You're going to print it out and you can put it right here on the page. So lots of fun things that you can do with your album. So let's go ahead and move over to the right-hand side. Now for the right-hand side, again, I'm going to break up my pieces and parts. And because that goes so well that way, hearts go this way. And let me give you our measurements. So we have 4 by 4. For the bottom, we have 4, again, by 3 3/4. So that's pretty much how they were all done. And the reason for that is it gives us that nice spot in the center. And then we're going to be using our Love is Magic, and it's going to just be dotted into the center so that you can tuck a photo underneath there. So the 4 by 4 at the top. And again, it's 4 instead of 4 1/8 because it was already cut. And this one is 4 inches by 3 3/4. Okay, now in the center, whoops, I'm going to add it right here in the center, about a 2-inch piece of glue or line of glue. Center that, and you can grab, so I'll just grab it from the other book just to make sure you have room in there. And then you have a space for those photos. Okay, let's turn the page, and we're going to do the same thing here. But this is that beautiful hearts at the top from the girl, and it's 4 for the top piece, and the top piece is your 4 by 3 3/4, and your bottom is your 4 by 4. And I did go with the white. We better add some more glue there. Then right next to it, 4 1/8 by 7 7/8, I have the paper airplanes. I just love it. We belong together. How cute would this be to make a real paper airplane out of for your Valentine? Stick a little note on the inside of there, you know, tuck it down in the folds. I think that'd be really cute. Okay, and now to the back side, we have our blue and we have our red. So again, 4 inches by 3 3/4 is going to be at the top, and 4 inches by 4 at the bottom. Now this is where mine original was plaid, but I'm going to be using the party hats because of my boo-boo. Then you will have another tuck spot right in the center of the page. So again, if you have a different piece you want to use, that's great. I use the plaid in the original, and this one's getting my party tickets. And the bottom is the 4 by 4. Goodness, pay attention, hand. So once again, I will go ahead and add about a 2-inch line just in the center. And then check it. And we're good to go. Right next door, we're going to do a full sheet of 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. And again, I used this on the original. You know, I think I'm going to go with the polka dots because this kind of is a lot. But the polka dots brings in the blue, the pink. So I'm going to go with the back side on this one. With the plaid, I would have gone with this because see the plaid's on the envelopes, but I just, like I said, I got cut happy and kept cutting, and I wasn't even paying attention everything that I needed to cut. So, but hey, I like the way, I like the way the inside turns out. I'll show you that. Of course, I'll show you because we're not there yet, huh? All right, let's just hold that for a moment. And also the back page. Now on the original, we have the red hearts. That's where I got crazy again. Oh no, this wasn't the crazy. It's the next one. Sorry, I should have checked. 4. Oh, it's a little shorter than 4 1/8. That's what happened on here. Mine is actually a little shorter than mine's probably 4 1/16. So you wouldn't even notice if I hadn't told you. By 7 7/8. That was the only little issue there. But all in all, I'm really happy how it turned out. I think it's really a cute project, and I can't wait to see Bonnie's little 3 by 3 cards for Valentine's. That's going to be really fun project. Okay, now on the inside, there was that second matting. It really wasn't listed that it was a double matting. So let me show you. I'm going to lay it down first, then give you the measurements. Our girl goes on the inside, and I decided to double mat her because, do you see how I didn't cut her wide enough? So with the matting, even though the matting is longer than the back, It's okay. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to give you the measurements because I am happy with how this is going to turn out. I'll have the double matting, and then I had this piece. So these are 4 inches. Mine came out 4 inches by accident. But you see, it doesn't look good where the matting's longer. So I had this piece left over, which was the same width, and I'm going to cut it right above the hearts. So I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to measure it again. But I'm going to make this what I call just like a little tuck pocket, a faux pocket, where we don't score it. And after I mat this down, because you see it's longer, then this is going to sit here and kind of help hide. It'll sit on the matting, not the double matting. And it's going to hide the, maybe it's not going to hide it. Maybe my idea wasn't so great. Let's see here. What was I thinking? Maybe I wasn't thinking. I was thinking, oh my gosh, that'll be so cute. And I think I fixed it. It needs to be wider to be that cute little tuck spot to hide. See, I cut it too short. Let's look at one more thing. No, I think instead I'm going to cut this to match my matting because I did cut it too short. And we're going to just see about a strip down at the bottom. Oh, I can't believe I did that. But, hold on. We have another, no, we don't. I'm telling you, I cut everything too short. And you do have other papers, so we can cut into them. But I would suggest that you wait to do your double matting, or I mean cut. See, I cut her too short was all. There was that piece at the bottom that you saw that I cut. No, and I didn't cut her wide enough. I don't know why. So that's where you should always measure twice, cut once. Because as I sit here and play with this, I think I'm going to be a lot happier, even though it's a little bit shorter with a little more white border, than cutting into a whole new piece of paper just because. So that's what I'm going to do. It's the length I need. Just measure yours from side to side. And I do believe you should have more of a 4 1/4. Yeah, it should be 4 1/4 wide. I took mine to 4. So don't do what I did. So cut yours 4 1/4. And let me get you the full length here. Mine just, you see a little bit of the gussets there. Yeah, see, the length is great. You could even go 8 and an 8. I went 8. I was just getting all excited. I couldn't wait to get it. Now I've got more than one of these done because I want to use them. Really do want to use them because I love the paper. And I got carried away by not paying attention. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now that we've got our fun stuff here on our pages, just do some burnishing. do love that on the red. Oh, love it. Love it. There we go. And close that baby up. Let's see. We need to take out. See, you can see where I kind of messed up. Reviews. I cut this little circle right here. I use this one a lot. And it is a 2-inch circle with my Fiskars. Then I did cut this by hand off of your sheet, which is our little mail truck. And I'm just going to mat this. And we're going to add that to that corner. I'll get this one closed so I don't bump it. Anyway, this circle is about a 1.5. So if you have a 1.5 punch, you'll be able to just punch that. Now, one thing that's going to be fun, if you have glossy accents, fun things like that, you can go back and do all these balloons. You can really doll this up. You can pop this in the mail to someone special. And what a cute gift. So we now have our gussets all covered. Our inside is done. And now we just need to create the flowers. Flowers on the outside can be done with any punches that you have. Yeah, that's pretty long. I'm going to probably cut. Yeah, I am going to cut those. We'll do that. I'll do that in just a little bit. Any punches that you have. And I'm going to turn my hot glue gun on. I'm going to use some blue. And then I definitely want some pink. And I'm going to use my Fiskars Little Punch. Okay. And I think I'll just go with probably, well, let's just see how many we can get. Four. Thinking 4 layers of that one. Yay, because I really want. So I did get 4. 6, 7, 8. All right. Super easy to do. And then I did hand cut out an envelope from this page that I just punched. And I'm actually going to stick a little bit there, stick a little there. I'm just going to lay it there for right now as we create our flowers. Make it my polka dots and the blue. Now I'm just going to take them and pinch them. You can, of course, create yours using your flower shaping tools or any roller ball type tool you want. I do. Uh-oh. Is my battery dead? There we go. I hope my battery, yeah, my battery's dead in my glue gun, and I do need the glue gun. So, just change that out. And we're ready to go. Okay, so with these 4, I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. But I like to put them on the book with my hot glue. And let's stagger those petals. There we go. And this is why I like a 5-petal flower, punch, or die, because when you stagger them. And then I'll be using the other crystals inside of our flowers. So let's go ahead and punch these up. Or just pinch them basically. My hot glue gun, that battery, maybe I don't have a charged battery, so I will have to use art glitter glue. Okay, well, I'll just let it dry overnight. It was not on the charger, or the charger is not plugged into the wall outlet, so we'll just do the gluing. You know, I don't know if I'll be using all of them because I think on these guys, I am only going to go with 3. I think I'll go with the 3. Make them not quite as full as the blue one. Let's see here. Okay. Grab my cover. There we go. I do like that a lot. I think I'll bring them up this way. See, these were smaller, so I put them down in the corner. Move this guy a little bit. We can bring no, I think we'll stick with that. Kind of brings your eye all the way up. So first thing I'm going to do is glue this down. Pointing up because I plan on bringing the eye up. And since the blue one is my biggest flower, and then we'll glue our centers in here in just a moment. I'll put one of the pink ones. Tuck it in there. So our petals touch. Well, they kind of overlap right there. Okay, I'm going to add a dot of glue to my centers. See how nice and clear that dries? I love it. I think it's so cute. Everything back in there. And there you have it. This is the original one. This is the one we just finished. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed creating it. It's just amazing how we started with these white pieces of paper, and now look what we have created. Let me go ahead. You know what? I think I want to show you something really quick. Oh, am I kidding? I don't do anything really quick. Bye. Okay, let's go ahead and choose. Oh, you know what? Let me take some of these hearts. And this is my heart punch. This is actually just a little bit bigger than I would, well, maybe not use, but let's go ahead and add a dot of glue right here. And let's add it to the end. Oh, this is going to be cute. Kind of bring that out. Add our glue. Now I have a smaller heart punch too somewhere, but that's what I was talking about. You can add them to the end. How cute is that? Now, if something happens and you don't like it, and maybe you should have cut it off some more, like I should have cut it off, then it's really simple. We're just going to cut it off, and we can go ahead and do a couple more. So you do want 2 hearts or 2 circles. You can use anything you want, any of your punches, just so that they match. And then as they're drying, you can go ahead and add a clothespin, and you can use different ones on each one. It doesn't have to be the same. Oh, it can be a flower. Like I said, it can be smaller hearts. Oh goodness. Let's try again. My fingers have quite a bit of adhesive on them. I have a dog snoring, and it's just hilarious. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But kind of just to give you an idea how much more that adds. And so I need to do 2 more, and then we are done. Or you can just tie the knots. You know, I think, let's see, I better use on the other side 2 different ones, because I don't have any more of that to punch. There we go. I didn't quite punch. There we go. Just fix that real quick with the scissors. And you got those cute little dangles coming off the side. Just kind of adds a little more to it. And Valentine's is fun, so we can definitely add all those fun elements that we like. And there we are. We are done. Thank you for joining me. And next time in February, our next Craftology box, our own Country Craft Creations designer, Tiffany, will be creating something with one of our other new collections. I'm so excited for that one to come out. But she also has, I'm just trying to get those guys to move. She also has her version of the project. And then she also has another project. And then follow along with Bonnie Kendowski. She'll be doing a live version or the 3x3 cards. So thank you, everybody. And I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous New Year's Eve. And if you are joining us during the virtual retreat, I'll be seeing a lot more of you next week.